been talking expansion here at ADGM after the monster 60 billion dirham expansion announcement from Abadala and Aldar Development last night, which is going to tie in really nicely with my annual catch-up with the ADGM Courts CEO, Linda Fitz-Alan. It's becoming an ADFW tradition.
It is, Brandy, and that's a good thing.
It's nice. It is a stock take.
It is.
And we're doing a stock take at a time when the ADGM is seeing massive growth. We've spoken to Jonathan Emery, the CEO of Aldar Development, this morning. They're going to double the office space here. We've got 43% more operational entities than we did last time you and I sat down. Now, I know that as a court, because you're common law, because you're regional, you're not restricted to this jurisdiction. But what does the growth at the ADGM mean for your caseload, what you're working with?
It means, it doesn't necessarily mean a massive expansion, Brandy, but obviously as more entities are moving in, and because, as you know, ADGM is promoting sort of the jurisdiction as being very conducive to creativity and innovation. So we want people to take risks, so they're always going to be pushing the boundaries. So I guess it will mean greater court cases, but we expect them to be of a particular nature, tech in particular, real property in particular, and more complex commercial cases because of the maturity of the jurisdiction.
Okay, I want to dig into all of that, but I want to get an idea of scale that we're talking here. So a third more companies doesn't necessarily mean a third more cases going through.
Correct, it does not mean that, yeah. It means more. It's hard to quantify it, but it's not a like for like, if I could say that.
You're also invested in not actually having cases make it to court. Huge arbitration, huge mediation initiatives. What would be the split between those who do make it to court and those who manage to come to a settlement beforehand?
Interestingly, only about 5% of the cases make it to court. Most of the cases, so the court cases alone, last year our mediation service had a brilliant success rate of around 78%. So we're already clearing cases on settlement at 78%. And then the rest are generally settling. So it's no more than 5% of the cases go to trial for a decision.
I want to ask you a little bit more about what you said there about creativity in companies. Obviously around ADFW at the moment, we've got, there's a blockchain day effectively, we've got crypto very well represented. How do you keep up with the evolutions in these technologies from an expert point of view? What do you need to invest in to make sure that the people who are mediating and hearing these cases know what they're talking about?
We keep up by talking to our demographic. So we're lucky. We have all these experts as part of the community of ADGM, and they're incredibly generous with their time. So I check in with them as to what's happening so that we can move with them. I always explain that the court has to be in sync with business and investors. There is no point if we're, and I think you've heard me speak about this so many times, if we are traditional. So we drive tech through everything, and this is our golden time for AI. Brandy, we're putting AI through everything we do.
Okay, let's look at AI from two aspects. AI first in terms of how you're using it.
Correct. So in terms of how we're using it, on our electronic platform, the cases are going to be analysed by agents to determine whether or not they're compliant with rules. So within 7 seconds, those documents will be reviewed and the filing party will be told exactly if there's anything wrong with them or they're clear and they come through to the court. So that's how we're using them from an administrative way. The judges, we're producing judgment summaries, we're analysing evidence, we're comparing evidence solely as a tool though. So I do want to stress that it's not decision making, but what it is assisting in analysing evidence and documents, and then we are looking at it from a quality perspective. So very important that we are not adopting, just because AI tells us something, we are not accepting that as until we really have a look at it and make sure it's true.
Yeah, you've preempted my next question, which is AI is not perfect. We've got AI hallucinations. It makes things up.
Yep, it makes things up. Yeah. Quite regularly, actually. So it's really interesting. And we've had, so the next part of AI for your question is, so we are having lawyers use AI and they are stumbling. We're finding people are not checking some of the documents that they're filing, and so all of a sudden becomes obvious that that's not, there's something that in there that is not quite right.
And you can spot that that's AI.
We can spot that's AI.
You can spot it a mile away, can't you?
We
It's the
can.
language.
We can.
That's really interesting because law is one of the professions that is said to be most under pressure, at risk really, jobs because of AI, taking out a lot of that grunt work almost that you would get, you know, a younger paralegal, you get younger lawyers to do. Is this a problem? I mean, how are you dealing with it when you spot that?
It's not a problem. I think it's a good thing for the legal profession, and I think it's a good thing for the young lawyers coming through. They do not want to be, as I was, sitting in warehouses sifting through trillions of documents, Brandy, and categorizing them. That should be done by a properly educated machine that can do that. Their work should be something more complex than that. So I don't think it's a problem, but a lawyer who doesn't embrace AI will not have a job.
Have you guys invested in your own AI tools? Have you built them on top of an existing LLM? Have you built your own? What have you done?
Yes, we have. Well, we're in the process of releasing it, but we have built it bespoke for our electronic courts platform. So we haven't taken off the shelf. We're working with some incredibly creative consultants where we know what we wanted to teach it, we know what we wanted to do, we have bespoke regulations, and we're trying to get it through quickly.
What about the other side of AI, which is going to be on the dispute side, disputes around AI, responsibility that come with decisions or whatever else, advice being given, made by a non-human entity? Have you started to see that coming through the courts yet? Are you getting prepared for it?
We're getting prepared for it, but we haven't seen it yet, but we know it's inevitable. And it really is inevitable. So, and the responsibilities, the accountability, decision-making that's based upon AI, where it's incorrect, that we see as the future horizon of some very complex, difficult disputes that courts and judges are going to have to wrestle with. And courts across the world will wrestle with that.
20 seconds. How do you get ready for that? How does the ADGM as a whole get ready for that regulation-wise?
We constantly educate ourselves. We constantly talk to the market. We constantly talk to experts. We evolve our policies. So nothing is set in stone for us. It always has to be evergreen. And we only get that by talking to industry.
ADGM Courts CEO Linda Fitz-Alan speaking to us this morning about what the expansion of both tech and office space here at the ADGM means for the judicial system and process. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Brandy. Thank you.